Have you set a course for your life? Do you do that every day? Knowing what you want is intention. Knowing how to get there is a study in conscious action. This is a show about living consciously. It is about our choices, our hopes, our dreams, our work, our loves, our vision, and the practice of healing and becoming. Welcome to Cruising in the Light and Shadow. Hello, I am Sheila Marie, also known as Kicha.
And my name is InannaMoon. Welcome.
Welcome, and I'm so very excited because I have two friends here, Robin
Hello.
and Alex.
Hi.
Please say your last names because I
Yes,
suck at
please.
pronunciation.
It's okay. Delano. Robin Delano.
Delano.
And Alexandra Case.
And
My, you sound like a mystery writer.
yeah, you know what? That's right.
I don't have a lot of mystery. I have more comedy.
Oh,
Thank you.
pardon me.
I was acting.
So they're
Pardon
actresses.
me.
Yes.
Can you tell?
Brilliant actresses.
All right. Yes.
And I know Robin because she did our movie First Comes Like, Laughing House Productions. She's the star of that feature film on Amazon Prime.
Wait, say that again. Just say that. I'm the what?
You're the
The
lead,
star.
the star.
Star.
She is. It's a love story,
Say that
and she
again.
is the love interest lead.
The
It's really-
romantic lead.
The romantic lead. It's really
I
good.
like that.
It's really sweet. I mean, it's really a good movie.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you watch like Saturday afternoon, like, oh, I need
Yeah.
a good rom-com.
Yeah.
And then Alex, I've worked with before, back in October 2016, when we filmed that little video for The Secret Office. That was our first endeavor with that. And I was like, oh, this will never happen. And yeah. So
That happened.
it happened. She played the Secret Service agent, Alex.
I did.
Oh.
I did. I held a gun and I felt very comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? Doesn't that feel strange? You hold a gun and you think that'll be the oddest thing in the world, and it
And you're
might
like,
actually, it's like,
I feel very
oh,
powerful.
And she was the most powerful of the group. Yeah. She had to
That's true.
protect the president that we thought was going to be fictional, but
Is The Secret Off, is that on Amazon too?
that is on Amazon
Ah,
too. Thank
okay.
you. The
Yeah.
what we did with Alex was just like Noel's idea,
Yeah.
Noel Orput,
who has been on the show?
who
as
has
a
been on the
matter of
show
fact?
and a good
Yeah.
friend of ours,
Oh.
and well, my partner as well.
Yeah.
And that's why he's been on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
He's
was
wonderful.
he was like, let's just. Noel's like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? And yeah, and then once it happened, it was like, let's do the show. So-
Yeah.
I remember that day we were shooting. I was also helping with makeup because we were taking an orange Sharpie or an orange highlighter and covering. I think it was Noel's hand.
Yeah.
To make it more orange, because it was this weird orange hand coming into the shot.
To grab her and
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and she
And
yeah.
you didn't have that guy in Washington. You didn't have him in mind at all.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we
did? Oh,
we were
okay.
just like,
But
wouldn't it be funny
Wouldn't it be
if
funny? Oh,
if
my God,
that
I
came
didn't
true?
realize that. Oh my goodness.
And that's what Noel has a way of making things. Every time we would write an episode of Secret Office, it would happen.
That's
So, yeah.
intuitive.
Yeah.
That right there is being
That happens,
intuitive.
that happens to us too.
Really?
Actually. Yeah. Yeah. It's happened a few,
Synchronicities.
more than a few times, I think.
So we've worked on it's
Yeah.
definitely happened.
Yeah.
We're like, we need
Tell
to write in us like being like start because our show is very comedic.
Yeah.
And it's about sort of like the bumbling actresses. And
What's the name of the show?
It's called Girls I Audition With. It's on Instagram. It's a sketch comedy show on Instagram. But
It's very funny, everybody. You have to check it out.
yes, they're 1-minute sketches. Most of them are improv, or we'll write out. If we have a guest or something on the show, we'll like write out a script for them usually.
Aw.
And you were saying that they were kind of bumbling.
Well, it's really just sort of a commentary on Robin and I's life as like actresses and sort of like the underdogs in Hollywood, and just stories from our friends. And we're like, that's funny, let's shoot it, and we'll just film like right then and there. but yeah, we're like and then it often happens, and so then we're like, oh well, we need to write ourselves where we book a role opposite Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
and then let that happen.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Which speaking of that, you two are doing some stuff. You're about to take off and do a movie, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Can you talk about that at all?
I can. I'll talk about it
Please.
briefly.
Please.
It's called Soulmates, and I wrote it with a different writing partner. I'm from Vermont originally, and so is my writing partner, Stephanie Lynn. Give her a little plug.
Stephanie Lynn.
Actually, Stephanie Lando now, because she just got married this weekend, this past weekend.
Ah.
So Stephanie Lando. We didn't know each other there, but we co-wrote this film. It's a female buddy comedy. All my stuff is
cool.
comedy.
Oh, good.
And very female forward. And it's, about a friendship, when you're in sort of a codependent relationship with your best friend and you're sort of each other's everything. And then one sort of gets engaged very quickly, and how to sort of balance that in two ways. One, your best friend is maybe no longer there in the same way that she was. And two, you get engaged to someone who's maybe not as good a fit for you as your best friend. So how do you sort of go into this new territory? But
That sounds good.
it's entirely going to be shot in Vermont this fall. So there is a B story of maple syrup, and I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, we're very excited.
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited.
Look
I can't wait to
forward
see
to
that.
that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And then Miss Robin, you
Yes.
just come off a tour.
I did. I came off a Bright Star. So I was on tour for about 8 months, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And that
super
is
fun.
Steve Martin's.
Steve Martin and Edie Brickell. So Edie Brickell is married to Paul Simon. A musical,
That
an
was pretty
Americana musical. Yeah, but it was great. It was the first national tour of Bright Star, and it was a great experience. And I'm
How
so
many
happy.
months was that?
Like 8 months. Yeah, so we did it 2 months out here at the Amundsen, and then we went 8 months on tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I believe you did Mamma Mia.
I did Mamma Mia at the Hollywood Bowl. Yes.
I had lots of. I was watching that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like tons of friends are there, and I know somebody.
Yeah, that was really fun. So it was like
That
really,
would be
really
a
fun.
lot of fun. Oh my
Really
goodness.
fun, really fun. So yeah, so it's good. So I sing and dance.
And
Mostly
act.
sing. Actually, yeah. But we're shooting some of our episodes coming up like next week. Oh my God. Next week. Oh my gosh. With a small crew. So we're going to be doing some longer episodes. Yeah.
Oh,
for our show.
good. How does that work? Because it's Instagram. Are you doing YouTube now, or?
Actually, what
I
are
don't-
we
I mean, our Instagram show is very sketch and improv and sort of on the fly, because we're often just filming things as we're talking
As you
about it
go.
and
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
And then we want to continue. We've done that for a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So we just want to challenge ourselves and do something a little outside
Yay.
of Instagram, because you have
Yeah.
to shove it all in a minute. So we've actually wrote these sketches and scenes, and it's part of a larger pilot we have going on for that show.
Yeah.
I want to, because I've watched the show and I'm like, well, wait, I want to spend more time with them. What's going on? So this is good. I'm very
You'll
happy.
get 3 more minutes.
Ooh, yeah, 3 more.
Luxury.
3 more luxury minutes with me and Alex. Yes.
And
so.
then you do another side job. As
I
we all
do. My side job. When I decided to be an actress and a singer, I was a horrible waitress and a horrible yoga teacher, because I hate yoga.
Because we all do.
I'm a great voice teacher, but sometimes I don't have the patience for it.
That's honest. That's good.
So I decided to go into casting because I wanted to stay in the entertainment industry. So I started working in extras casting, which was like, oh my God, kill me. But it's fine because extras casting never ends.
I bet it never
24/7.
does, right?
It's like
Yeah.
around the clock.
Are you just person after person after person?
Well, you know what it is because the AD's always calling you, like, so-and-so didn't show up. And it could be like 3 in the morning or like whatever.
You're like a doctor on call.
Yeah, except it's extras casting.
Yeah.
So it's like, we need another pirate. Like, oh my God.
Who has their own outfit.
Yeah, who could come to set, I need a girl in a bikini. I'm like, oh my God, okay. But it's all great. It's all great. Let me hear. It's fine. I met a friend there and we decided to start our own company. It was her idea. And she was like, would you like to come and do this with me? And we can do principal casting and it will be so much more creative and fulfilling. And she ended up finding a company from London, and we hooked up with them, and we became their casting directors. And our first film went to Toronto.
Oh my.
So
What film can you?
sure, it was called Gaia. It's a beautiful film.
Oh, Gaia.
To the Toronto Film Festival.
Yeah, this is
International Film
about.
Festival.
This was a while ago. This is like. I know I don't look that old, but this is like probably like 6 or 7 years ago. And then from there,
When you just turned 22.
when I just turned
Yes, right, I'm
19,
saying. No, pardon me.
and
I stand corrected. Pardon me.
19. And from there, that company, like a lot of production companies do, they shoot commercials to support their indie films. So we ended up shooting Kellogg's commercials.
Oh,
we
wow.
were moving like super, super fast. And then we were both actresses at the time, so it was growing too fast for our little brains and our career. So we decided to put it on the back burner for a little while, and then we just started up again about almost 2 or 3 years now. So we've been casting a few like Lifetime-esque movies. So we're doing that. And
The
then
feel-good movies.
The feel-good movies,
Or
yeah.
the scary to feel?
They're kind of like thrillers.
Yeah, there you go, thrillers.
Soap opera movies, but there's really hot people in them, and
Oh,
I like
yeah.
casting that. And we also have a series that we're working on, like a reality show series as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's really
What is
it's like
that?
a dating show.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
It sounds exciting.
There's so many.
I'm not gonna
And
go
here's
on.
the thing too, like being in casting and being an actress, like we get to see, we get to see all stages of production and how people actually get roles. It's really interesting. And casting has provided me like freedom.
Yeah.
So because now a lot of auditions happen over virtually. So most
Yeah.
actors, even for these higher end roles, like for a lot of, I've auditioned for some major TV networks, like done a self-tape. So a lot of the stuff is happening now, like in a space like this. So you have to do a lot of like self-taping.
Oh, yes. right.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that. You're like, ooh.
I'm like this. Like when I walked in, I'm like, oh,
I'm
it's a
familiar with it.
It's a self-tape area.
Who will I be
Who
seeing
can
today?
I see? Yeah.
I thought years ago when I met a few casting directors that's one of the most intuitive jobs
Yeah.
anyone could have in a theatrical setting, because you're feeling what's right, how someone might blend. I'm assuming, only
Yeah.
assuming, and you can tell me whether
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is correct or not, but how someone might blend with a cast or work with a director. You would have to be reading them a little bit.
Yeah, most of it is like you have to kind of intuitively, like you have to sometimes guess like what your director wants.
Right,
So
right.
a lot of the times like a casting director's job is just finding people, and then of course production or money, depending on who. They're the final say
They'll
usually.
weed out.
However, a good casting director, which I like to think that me and my partner are, will push for our favorite people,
right,
and that's where I think a relationship with a casting director comes in handy, because like the more that they know you, the more they can say, oh, I know this person will show up, will do their job,
And that's the important part. They'll do
yeah.
their job.
Yeah. So for this, we're looking for some like pretty well-known people, like for this one, and like one woman that we pitched, like our production team was like, nope, we've heard like awful things about her, like
Oh, wow.
we don't want to deal with
much
it, because they're these films are like a little bit lower budget, so they don't have a lot of time to do like take after take after take after take.
Ooh, which reminds
to
me,
deal with.
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I have somebody to pitch to you.
All
a
right.
friend of mine. who's-
Okay. Yeah.
she's awesome.
Yeah.
You'll look at her and go, oh, her.
Yeah.
She's done
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. But sometimes it's stressful, but just like anything else, because you're dealing with a lot of personalities and
Yeah.
a lot of opinions, you
Yeah.
know, and a lot of people that want to be right. So,
Oh my. All right.
but when you step back from it, that's totally fun.
So then that brings
really
up,
fun.
in an atmosphere like that for both of you, like if you're in an audition atmosphere like that, what do you do to protect yourself?
Like, oh gosh. Okay. Well, I don't know.
What do you
Wanna
mean?
talk?
What do you mean by
Like,
that, Sheila Marie?
Energetically. How do
Okay.
you shut? I mean, there's you
Yeah.
could be the normal, like just be to everybody and bitchy to
Yeah.
them, or do you do something spiritual, something intuitive, something
Actually, I want to. What are your spiritual practices? I want to get to that absolutely.
Yeah.
But do you since this is a spiritual show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there things that you do? Yes. So
Yeah.
it's things that you do before you get going in your day, and then answering the question, what do you do in front of people if you feel yourself wilting?
You know, it's actually interesting, Sheila, the way you asked that, because for me, I almost feel like it's the opposite. I feel like I protect myself like all the time in real life.
Ooh.
Yes.
Whereas when I walk into the room, I feel like it's a moment where I don't have to protect.
Oh, that's
So I feel
awesome.
like it's the opposite. I'm protecting myself when you're sitting and there's 8 girls on your right that look exactly like you and have better bodies and everything. And then there's one on, like, you know, on the left, and they've all been on shows, and it's like you in the middle. I feel like I have to protect because they're looking at you, and what is their outfit, and did I dress, and is she dressed the character? And, you know, it's like everyone has their, you know, like you go out for a bartender, and it's like, oh, that's her version of a bartender, that's her version, you know, and I feel like I have to just like protect myself from all that negative energy or whatever it is that, you know, if they're eyeing you the wrong way or whatever. And some people are like very sweet and there's no negativity necessarily, but I feel like when you're in the room, that's my time to be in my light, if that makes sense. And
yes.
so
Beautiful.
I don't feel the need to protect
So it's
in
actually
that.
for you more expanding your energy field rather than drawing it in and putting up some kind of a shield. It's more, standing in
Yeah.
your power and in your balance. That I can see very much.
That's
so.
good.
And then you're less worried too. Actually, if you're standing in your power, you're going to be a lot less worried about what other people think to begin with.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
that's one of the reasons for me why Robin and I's show is like so special, because I feel like so much of the time, and that doesn't mean to say I go into auditions, I'm like, oh, I'm like in my light.
No, I wouldn't think so.
I
no.
go in a lot of the time and I'm totally like nervous and, you know, doubting everything. And, you know, it's like a weird thing that you just continually do. But for our show, and really why it started, is because you do protect so much, and it's like, you know, you just want to have fun sometimes, and you just want to laugh at these crazy audition things, you know. And Robin is an actress, singer, and casting. That, you know, it's like she has so many good stories. I'm like, we need to film that more, you know. But it's very, for me, just open and fun, and we have so much fun. Like, we will laugh hysterically when we're shooting this stuff, and I'm like, if we're laughing, I assume other people are laughing. That's the kind of energy we've like infused into our Instagram series.
I just want to piggyback on that and say I was recognized in Burbank from our Instagram show.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, and I quote, "Your show saves me."
Oh my gosh. Okay, you gotta. That's awesome.
I was like,
Get
I
that on
am
a T-shirt.
now we are the savior of all of the actresses all over the world.
This is why I do what I do.
This is why I film sketches.
It saves me. It saves us.
It saves us. No, but really, it is kind of like, I feel like a cathartic experience, because we're like sharing our experiences, you know, and like to have somebody relate to that, like she was just like, it's so nice to see. She just honestly said, like, it's just nice to see people not making light of it, but like kind of, I guess, like living it, you know, because she's like, I can relate to like every one of
totally.
your videos. So that was like really cool. I just thought it was like really cool, you know. I'm like,
That
we're
is.
not alone.
Oh no.
Because that's the thing too, and we wanted to do this show too because there is such a stigma sometimes against for women in the business. Like, people are always battling it out for jobs,
Yeah.
you know. And we thought, well, what if we like supported each other instead?
Yes, that
You
would
know?
be lovely.
What a unique idea.
What if we did that instead? Because really, since I do work in casting, it's really not a battle of between, like, if Alex and I witness, it's not between her and I. It's between what you bring. It's like what do you bring to the table and to the camera? Like, what does the camera see? You know. So.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Do you
Oh Lord.
What do you do?
do you have like a ritual?
Yes.
You have a ritual.
I feel like every day it's a new thing. I'm like, what can I do this time?
To take care. Yes, to take
besides
care of
like
yourself,
drink.
That bottle of vodka. That's there.
Where's that bottle of vodka in my car? No.
No.
I think like, what do I do? Oh my gosh. But right before I go into an audition, I actually just try to center myself, like just like, and like tell myself it's gonna be okay. Like this is not death. It's not gonna make and break you. You know, like this, and you enjoy this. Like remember that. Remember that you enjoy what you're doing. Because sometimes you like terrify yourself, you know?
Totally.
And for a lot of my auditions, they're singing. So your breath has to be like under control. So it's just like, you know, come on, body, let's go. You know, it's like, I feel like sometimes I talk to myself like I'm outside of myself. Like, all right, ribs, all right, body, all right, mind. Like we're going in there all together and we're going to do this.
Oh, that's good.
That's sometimes what I think, like just to kind of center myself, because a lot of the time, so you see people in auditions, or you're auditioning for people, so you walk in, everyone's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I can't talk to you right now, like I've got to remember, I've got to center,
a moment,
yeah. But then there are those times like that I just cannot get it together. And you're just like in my mind like the whole time.
I wonder if like those times, do you get the role? Because sometimes I
didn't this last time.
Okay.
I feel like that's such a toss-up in so many ways.
Yeah.
For like commercial auditions, sometimes I'm like, I nailed that. Never hear like a callback ever.
Yeah.
Other times I'm like, this is the worst. Like how? And they're like, you got a callback. And I'm like, what? Like I don't even. I like blacked out. But yeah.
Have you found sometimes when you don't get the role, at least those people kept you in mind for something else? Have you been able to see that, or you have no idea?
I don't know. I don't always know. I mean, it's just hard because sometimes it'll be like 7 months later. And it'll be,
right.
And I'm like, did they remember me, or didn't I just
or
they
am I
saw my
new to them
headshot
now?
again, and it was a different headshot, and they were like, her,
Yeah.
I have no idea. I really don't.
This was really interesting, actually. This last audition I went to was for musical theater, and I know the casting people, and one of the associates came out and he asked me, he was like, do you feel rusty because you've been on tour? Because he knew that I had been on tour. And I was like, actually, sometimes like I do. But he said something so interesting. He said, he's like, yeah, because sometimes when people are off. Like they come in here and that they're off.
Intuition.
Yeah. Or, and he goes, so then it becomes like the casting people, like who know you be like, oh, I think she's having like an off day.
Yeah.
Like, let's bring her back just in case or whatever,
Nice.
So I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, so I just said he like thought of that. Yeah.
So even though you've been performing all along, it's being rusty auditioning.
Yeah,
is
it's
that
like
right?
I feel like it's
whole
a
different set of muscles.
It's like a different mindset. I mean, right?
Right.
I think it's like a way different.
I don't miss auditioning at all.
Yeah, I would say that's the one thing.
And that's what I was one of the reasons I wanted to do this show is that I've noticed that a lot of our intuitive spiritual community has started out, or it continues to be, actors and artists and singers.
Yeah.
There seems to be a connection, and one of the reasons is it's like we all play a role. We're all centered. We play a role.
If you are in, I won't say this is true of everybody. If you've been a long time in yoga, or you've been in a practice, it can be just meditation, it can be, mindfulness in some way, where it comes across, usually at some point in your practice, you read, you find out within yourself that actually right here, we're each playing a role. We're playing a variety of roles. You're the daughter of someone. You're the casting director. You are someone's friend. And on this day, when you're preparing, you have a mindset of something, as opposed to another day, you have a different kind of mindset. That those are actually all roles, and there's still just the essential soul. So what I heard you say, Robin, when you said you just try to center, to me that's centering in your higher self in some ways. You may not be thinking those, most people wouldn't be thinking those words. They're like, I'm now going to just step into my higher self. But you're grounding yourself and you're centering yourself, and you realize, and I heard you also say, this isn't the be-all, end-all experience. I'm not going to die this day and so forth. But that is very similar to saying, I am just playing this role. I'm going to do this for now. I'm going to have the best time I can possibly have. That's all also spiritual, a way of spiritually talking to yourself, so that you can, once you step on that stage, you're stepping into a different role. So it's you're a character within a character is what you're
Right,
doing.
yeah.
In many ways.
Stepping into the audition Robin.
And the audition. I am now audition. Where's my cape? I am now audition Robin.
Or maybe the goal is to step out of the audition Robin. You're right.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
You know, I actually,
But there's so many actors. Yeah, go ahead. There's so many actors though that are. So I've met a lot of actors who are spiritual teachers and spiritual teachers who have been actors as well. So it's interesting.
because they have to reflect so much on I feel like actors are always some of the first people to like look in
Yes.
when most people are looking out. So maybe
yes.
that's why.
Yeah, I think
No, perfect.
no, yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
And the wording center, you said I have to center. That's what I have always done when going into ritual in my goddess community. I'd have to center, and so I was like, hey, that's the same word that my acting teacher Jackie Benton used to tell me to center. Wow, it's here too. Okay, I get this. It makes sense to me now.
It is though. It's like a grounding. It's like, because sometimes I feel like, for me personally, I walk around just thinking all day, so it puts me like outside of my body. So not even like I'm like, well, I don't even know what I'm doing, right? So I feel like to become like present, whatever, to be there, I have to like pull myself down like into my body,
Ground down. Yeah.
Like, okay, chose this today. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
I have said prayers though before. I had a huge audition this year, huge, and I was sick. I had been sick, and I had so much writing on this audition. Don't do this. I had so much writing on this for me personally. I was like, if I don't get this, like, this is it. Like,
Oh, you mean
I've
like in
gotta
a
get
journaling?
this.
Yeah,
I've got to get this, like, right before the audition.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna book it. Like, so much focus was on booking, And I seriously was like, Our Father, who art in so like, before the audition. I was like, Lord, like genuflecting. I was raised Catholic. I was like, please, Lord, oh God, Jesus, Lord, like let my voice come out, please,
Mary,
Lord Jesus.
Hail Mary.
And then the casting director was like, Robin. I'm like, yes. Me and Jesus are coming in today. That's what I was like. I didn't get it though. I didn't get it,
And sometimes a friend of mine once said, rejection is protection.
Yes, yeah.
So sometimes it's like you might watch the other person who got the role and go, oh yeah, I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have gone. Yeah.
Or there's a better role out there.
Exactly.
To have.
Better role.
Yeah.
Or I would have gotten hit by a bus on the way to rehearsal.
Exactly.
Like you never know.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. Yeah.
I actually wanted to share just one quick audition story. When
Please.
you were when you were speaking before, the film that I was talking about, Soulmates, which we're filming this fall, we had to audition for our own movie.
Wow.
So my friend and I wrote a film with us as the leads about us, about heightened characters of ourselves. And they read the script. They're like, "This is great." We optioned the film to this wonderful production company, and they said we would love to see, we would love to do a audition. And so we're laughing, and I came home.
Was it just a screen test?
It was a screen test, but it was really to see if we could hold a film.
Yeah.
And it was with a very big casting director, and I told Robin, I said, we did, this is on our Girls I Audition with, because we said we have to audition for, I was like, I have to audition for a role that I wrote for myself, that's me, but I have to audition for it. I've never been so nervous in my life, because it's like me and my friend, and so we went in, and we were like working, and I'm like, am I good as myself? Like, I don't even know. And we
Does
ended
myself
up,
like me?
Does myself like me? Like, what am I thinking in this scene? It's me. Like, and then the funny cherry on top of the whole story, we ended up booking it. They called us later that day. They're like,
You booked yourself?
We booked ourselves. But
All right.
we booked the opposite roles.
Oh.
So we booked the role that we had originally written for my friend is me, and the role we originally wrote for me was her. So
That's
since
kinda fun.
then, this was like a year and a half ago. Since then, we have now rewritten it to match, our strengths
own
as
characters.
actresses for sure. But I was like, that's so funny. So like, so you guys booked your film, but we're swapping because
We're
we
not
want
sure.
you in the comedy role and you in like the other role. I was like, okay, we
We're
got
not
this.
sure you're right. We're not sure you're right for you.
I'm sure you're right for yourself. But I was like, and talking about centered, I don't even like remember. Like we took a photo because you're so, and I think maybe that's the center, like the eye of the hurricane. Like you feel like it's such a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Like I don't even, and I was like, they're gonna like her and not me. Like she thought they were gonna like me and not her. So we're both like terrified. But anyway, we booked ourselves. So that was one of the most unique auditions I've ever had because I wrote it, and so I'm like,
I know
Come
me.
on.
and I find like, when we like write things, it's easier to do something because you're
we
aware.
always have a joke where like, they're like, would we cast ourselves or we're gonna cast like a hotter version?
We're doing that.
We're doing
that. So we're filming in September, right? We're doing this scene where Robin and Alexandra meet our lovely, we accidentally bump into Rochelle and Alessandra.
Ooh.
And they are
Who are the TV versions
the hotter, skinnier, and way more successful versions of ourselves. So
I love this.
if anyone is an actress or a agent and you want to submit your clients, it's on Actress Access.
Yes.
We're casting.
Oh, that's
what we
awesome.
look like.
Ourselves.
Oh, I love casting.
So we put up a picture of us and we said we're casting,
Hotter, sexier versions of
Amazing. Oh my God.
Actually, I have somebody in mind.
For me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
We might hit you up for
We
that.
might hit you up for that.
I do.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about producing is because
No, you're
gotta be in the
supposed to
casting.
say no. There couldn't be. There couldn't
There could
possibly be.
never
Like,
be. There could never be a hotter
it's
version.
so
But that's what's
crazy.
so fun. Like we're enjoying
That's
it. Like
great.
we
Yeah.
laugh so hard.
Yeah.
We're writing
Yeah.
the descriptions. We're like Alessandra, tee tee.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this makes it fun for me
Yeah.
because it's our joke, not a joke on us. If that makes sense.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Oh my gosh. Now that's awesome.
On the next show, we're gonna recast everything. So we'll put a breakdown for you guys. No.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool. Yeah. In the role of Kitty.
Yeah.
Hi, reading for Sheila today.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm seeing
that's
Kate
where we're at.
McKinnon right
Oh
here.
my gosh.
I love her.
Nice. That's good.
I so
And
love Kate McKinnon.
I would really like to be on Saturday Night Live, so
Yeah.
maybe that'll be one of my
You guys can
questions for the
swap.
intuitives.
She could play you. You can go on Saturday Night Live.
Oh my god,
That'd be awesome.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
A day
And
in the
I
life.
see you performing in England. That just keeps coming. It keeps flashing.
Really?
You're on a London stage.
Oh,
it just
yeah.
keeps flashing. For
You know
me,
what
so
is
I will
so funny?
put that out there. What?
The job that I really wanted. It's on the West End. Yeah, but it's coming out here. They're doing a North American tour.
Oh.
But it started on the West End. Yeah.
Oh,
So I will take
very
that
interesting.
today.
Yeah. Hang
But then
on to
again,
that,
there's
yeah.
also that thing that you meet, as you meet somebody
Yeah.
and then you're like, hey,
Yeah.
they would be good in this
Yeah.
role.
Or maybe my husband
Interesting.
is British.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Or Scandinavian. Scandinavian, British.
Will be.
Maybe there's another Girls I Audition with.
Yes.
British version. I'm gonna fly over there and we're gonna film a sketch.
There you go.
Yes.
Hint, hint,
Want to
universe.
whisk you away.
I will take that, London.
Birds I audition with.
Birds I audition with. Birds. Oh my God, that'd be funny.
That would be.
This
ooh.
is a cockatoo.
No, women in English are called birds.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, no, bird. Yes,
Birds and blokes.
Wait,
Blokes.
blokes.
Oh.
So it's like
and
instead of
birds,
girls,
yeah.
be like he's a hot bloke
Yeah, B&B.
and she's a pretty bird.
Oh.
Bird.
Ah. Oh, but my name's
So we could do
And your name's Robin.
This is how we do our
Yeah,
show right
Robin.
now.
This is how we do it.
We could. There you go. You're a natural bird, Robin.
I am.
Robin is
natural
a bird.
Watch on our Instagram because you are going to see momentarily a sketch that's a
About
British
bird.
version called Birds I Audition With, starring us, especially Robin.
That's British. That's British
Featuring Robin.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Well, that brings up a question. So you're married?
I am not.
You're not married.
I
Okay.
have a wonderful boyfriend.
Okay. You're partnered up. Let's put it that way.
I'm
Okay,
partnered
sorry.
up.
Yes. And you are
I'm
Open.
single, I guess. That's what they call it.
Open. No, I like open.
You're
open.
Yes. That's
Open,
right.
yes. I've been open for a while.
let me.
That doesn't sound
good.
right.
I was so ready to say
That
something
is
about
not
it.
right. We all relax away. We need a different poster.
We have the Moonstruck poster behind us.
A very romantic poster.
Yes, yeah.
Like someone finding their romance. That's some of what you're talking about has a lot to do with setting intentions, and which is what you're always. There's something in common with performers is always having to set intentions and having to set them a distance away, saying, I may not know. And what we normally do in intention setting is I may not know. Oh spirit guides, I may not know how this will turn out, but here's what I'm setting an intention for, to be the most successful I can possibly be. So intention setting is when you want to think actually more expansively, even though you want to focus on one thing. You're saying, I want this one role, I'd like to go out with this one guy, I want this one thing to happen, but actually being expansive brings in more energy and more opportunity to see what is out there for you. And so you can still say, well, I would really like this one role. I'm also saying to higher guidance or to my own higher self, I am expanded and open for any and all opportunities to come to me that take me toward the success that I'm looking for. I often say, even add in your timeline. Say, please, sooner than, I always end with, and sooner than later. Let this be now. Because many of us have found, if you leave it wide open, Spirit goes, okay, well, in the next lifetime, we'll get there for you. No, here and now.
I've added and gently and kind. Because sometimes
for the good of all.
For the good of
you
all,
say
yes.
for the good of all, and then this
so I
will
double
be,
do it because I do add that as well.
This includes you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you walk out on that stage, it'll expand your energy field, and the feeling about that is it leaves a greater sense of who you are on that stage when you walk off. You've left an energy signature.
Ooh.
That's nice.
I like that.
I do like that
It's
as well.
like a stamp.
A stamp, yes, yeah.
The R and A stamp.
And
Yeah,
and part of it,
that's nice.
part of something that I thought about when I was thinking about this show was how much you probably actually use your chakras and you don't even know, because they're working, of course, all the time. You don't have to be conscious of them. But if you are meeting someone, this is not a spell. This is not wrong to do. But if you're meeting someone and we know we are connecting to someone, like Alex, I'm talking to you, so there is a connection. We're looking at one another, but my feeling is you're connecting third eye to third eye, root chakras. You're grounded into the earth, but when you're working together with someone, when you're talking to someone and working together, it's the second chakra, which is the creative centers, the solar plexus. Absolutely, that's how we meet and extend out into the world, and we kind of loop in and tie into one another while we're working, talking, making a plan, anything like that. So you can do that when you're auditioning in front of people, but really I think it would be easier to just say, I'm expanding into this space, and it's like making that space yours as you audition, because it is yours, right? For the time that you're up on that stage, this is your field. So it's in that way.
I love that. What you just said, I'm like, ooh, I can almost like feel what it would feel like to do that. And I'm like, wow.
I wish I'd known that when I was performing, because I was terrified. And I think when I step up to do a class, and I'm never a comfortable public speaker, but I stand in that field. I know you said something before. I know Spirit is with me. So who said Jesus?
Oh, I did.
Like, oh,
I
there
was
we go.
like, Jesus is
So,
coming
like,
with me
yeah,
today.
your spirit guides are with you right there, and then expanding out to everyone in the room and inviting them into your space. Just and it's a quick thought. It's just all right, and then you go.
I'm going to do that at the next audition for
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
I really am.
nice.
That's
Yay.
good.
Very
Helpful
nice.
spiritual tips for actors.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
definitely. Definitely. I'm like, or can we cast spells on people? I'm
go.
gonna
No.
No.
before I go in, can I be
It's
like,
oh, how to make things
Very-
backfire. That's what the theme of that show is.
See, like I was
That's a good
always
theme.
taught about spells. Like if you do involve someone who doesn't know they're
Doesn't know
involved,
you're
connected
involving
to them
right? Yeah.
forever. So it's like, yeah. Well, you know that. Yeah.
Well,
We've all read Harry Potter.
I know.
I'm so into Harry Potter right now.
Really?
It took 20 years, and I'm on the
And now
last
you're
book.
And
into
just
it.
now.
Yeah, book 7.
But,
Yeah. Yeah, I've been. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'm quick. If I'm into a book, I'm into
Yeah.
a book. But-
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's good.
So you were curious about like how to read a room.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea more of expanding and like centering than sometimes I feel like when I walk in and you try to read a room, it's like puts you like outside of yourself, because with auditioning and stuff or meetings or anything, like trying to do something or trying to see how somebody is feeling is always like not a good idea because I feel like sometimes you just project your stuff out there, right? So
Right.
if I always have a problem like with my weight, like that's what I'm thinking of, right? Then that person's gonna be like,
you're gonna
well,
send
she
them
has a
that.
problem with her weight,
Yeah.
or he or she will pick it up in a way that like, well, she's not comfortable, so like how can we hire her? So I like more of the expanding way, because it takes it off. It almost like it's like a relief. It's like kind of takes it off them. It takes the pressure off them. And then it takes the pressure off you to just kind of, you know.
Look at that. That's
Well,
awesome.
even when you're expanding into a space, part of reading a room is actually, see now, it's going to presume that you've worked with yourself and you know who you are, because some of reading a room and what an intuitive would do, an intuitive or psychic or medium would do, is they know who they are because they've been possibly doing their meditation, usually doing their meditation,
Their practice,
and
their
having,
work.
and you've come to a sense when you're really working intuitively, is that you have been in a process of loving yourself more, which also means you're letting go of your fears, your anger, frustration, anything that holds you back. You've worked through grief. It doesn't mean you're perfect, but it means you're in the process of doing all of those things. And so you know how you work from within. I would think actors very much have some sense of how they work from within so that they know how to take on a role. I heard it recently, so I know it's still going on, where when you're working on a role in a script, you're going, how do I bring myself into that and evolve that and make it become this character? So in that way, you're getting to know yourself too. So when you come in and you're just kind of at first wanting to read a room, it's bouncing against who you are, what's available, whatever it is available to what you know about yourself is how you're reading a room. What you don't know, you can't read anyway. So if you walk in and the room is bustling with energy and somebody might be angry in this corner and maybe someone's having a really bad day and they're mumbling to themselves in another corner, and you know that maybe among whoever's in that room there are certain people you have to be in touch with, immediately, almost automatically, you're going to know what you have to give, what you have to offer. So you don't have to take yourself out of, okay, I know I have to audition with this particular, maybe piece of a script or something. You still have that ready, but you can take in what's going on in the room and read what's happening and see if you can't relate a little bit as you introduce yourself. And then that too helps the room become yours.
Ooh.
Yeah, so anything you can do to empower your life on a daily basis is going to help empower you on whatever stage you're going to stand on.
Ooh, very
whatever,
nice.
That's
whatever
nice.
meeting you're going to have.
That's nice. Yeah.
Whatever stage.
In the podcast stage.
The podcast stage, yes.
Let's see. So I'd like to ask again where we can find you and what you have coming up.
Well, you can find our show on Instagram under with the handle Girls I Audition With. You can also find us on BitPix TV, which is I don't want to say subsidiary, but it's like a website it's a platform of Holly Shorts TV.
Ooh.
You can find us there. And you can probably find me wandering around the streets of LA if you ever want to come up and say hi.
And I know her.
Or in my car. You can find me on the 101, the 405 most of the time. Occasionally I'm on the 134. But
Expanding her energy onto...
you'll see me expanding my energy on the 101 most of the time.
And Miss Alexandria.
You can find me in the same places. Girls I Audition With on Instagram.
And your upcoming film.
We also on Instagram. It's called The Soulmates Movie.
Ooh.
So you can find us there. There's lots of beautiful pictures of Vermont. I'm so excited to be filming in my home state. A lot of syrup pictures, a lot of friend pictures.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. That just sounds
I'm
like
excited.
fun.
A lot of tractor pictures.
A lot of tractors.
There's that, yes. Sure.
We have this amazing farm woman role, and
I have like been bugging Alex. I'm like, will you please let me hold the chicken? And then she just told me the other day, she's like, you don't want to hold the chicken. They bite you.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Robin's like, can I just be in the background and catch a chicken? I'm like, girl, have you ever tried to catch a chicken? It's real hard.
But I haven't. She's like, they're going to scratch you and bite you. I'm like, there goes my dream. Or I said, I was like, I want to be in it, like when your dad teaches me to ride a tractor. Please. I just want like a shot of me going by in a tractor.
I'll be like doing the scene. Robin will be flying by in a tractor.
That's what I see is some meaningful scene is going on in the front
And then
ground.
just a woman
and the
is-
foreground woman's like running by after a chicken.
That's like what I want. She's like,
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Right that
I can see your brains going.
I'm putting the intention out in the universe. There's a lot of chickens
you
in
go.
Robin's future.
I'm like, I'll find myself out there. Just let me do that.
Well, I'm going to
Yes.
piggyback on them for my plugs then.
Oh,
because-
please. plug-
Because I
plug
have
away.
Robin
Yes.
in our Laughing House Productions movie, First Comes Like, on
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. And then Alex was in our Secret Office pilot that can be found on YouTube. And then the show now on Amazon Prime, Secret Office. And I'm plugging big time badcgisharks.com. Badcgisharks.com. Yeah, we've got a few international articles as well as US articles being compared to Deadpool, the Deadpool of shark movies. So that'll be coming out soon.
I'm excited for the
I know.
sharks.
That's
I'm like,
so
totally gonna
cool.
watch that.
I know, that's cool, actually.
I will premiere.
Yeah.
And exciting in a different way. I'm going to be teaching meditation at Indigo Alliance in Pasadena on Sunday, September 9th, 4 to 6 p.m. I'm calling it Meditation for the Busy Mind because that's
Oh.
all I've been hearing lately are people going, I've tried meditation, but my mind won't slow down. I don't know what to do about it. And so it's going to be for that in particular. And if you're coming back to a meditation practice after a long time away, this is for you as well as newcomers.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. So then we have a special treat today. We usually pull a tarot card for our guests, but also Miss Robin does it too. So I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. You two decide who wants to go first.
Who do you want to read for?
Oh, who do I want to read
Yeah.
for? Oh, I don't know. Everyone? Were we going to say everyone pulls a card? I don't know.
We usually either do a card of the day or for our guests, we'll read for I'll read for the guest.
Yeah.
Is what
Oh,
happens. So,
okay.
yeah, so.
I don't know. Well, you want to go first? I think Alex and I are ready. We're like, yes.
Well, you're ready. Oh, okay.
You're the
for each of you.
professional.
Yeah,
Or
she
you're
is.
the
Each of
professional.
you. Okay. All right. Let's see.
I just play around.
You are very talented, Robin.
I'm gonna do
Very
it.
talented
I'm gonna
tarot
do
reader.
it.
Robin's read my
This
cards.
way.
Yes.
Ooh, wonderful. Could see.
Should they each pull a card or just one?
Well, if we want Robin to do it also.
With
which
her
would be
cards.
fun.
She has
Yeah,
her
yeah,
cards.
yeah.
Cards. Okay, so just one of you decide which one.
We can both pull a card.
Yeah, can we both?
Okay,
We'll be
both pull a
fast.
card.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll be totally fast.
and I'll be quick. Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to do something.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's start with Robin's because she pulled the Empress, and for me the
Oh, wow.
Empress. The Empress card very much relates to the Goddess card. This is absolute success. She is absolute success. She is the heart of abundance. Talk about intention setting. So she uses the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, and she sets her intention in those. Those are her spirit guides. And then she sets that intention out into the world. She is very much, the Empress has her emperor. So this also speaks,
Where is he?
this speaks to me of, it actually speaks to me of the energy of a partner or someone being around you now at this time. And that autumn probably, and because the Empress also, she's got grains of wheat or shafts of wheat here.
Wheat.
No,
Gluten
this is
tolerance.
good.
We don't know about that. Does she want to sit in wheat?
A man,
I don't know.
No, a man will come bearing bread. There we go.
Perfect.
Gluten-free bread.
Perfect.
Gluten-free
Great. A man will come with carbs. Great.
just what an actress wants. Yes, right.
I'm all, can you come with
No,
the
but-
celery juice? No, it's fine.
All right.
No,
so
that's
so
actually
the plant's
fine.
behind her. There we go. But she is. But this is saying this is a great time of abundance for you. More opportunity coming in.
Yes.
Time for you also to have more clarity, or release what doesn't work for you and bring in what does work for you. This is a wonderful card.
Beautiful.
Bless- She brings
Thank you.
blessings. She brings
Perfect.
blessings.
Well, I love her.
And then for Alex,
My
we
card's
have,
not as exciting as Robin.
No, it is. It's this man is making the man. You could say it's a man. I could say it's a woman. This
Oh my God, I
person is
didn't
in
even see that
shadow.
person.
There is a person there, and he's making choices. And this is the spirit realm, kind of opening the clouds, opening the curtains, if you want, and saying, so you have many possibilities before you. Which one? We wonder which one you will choose, and tell us what you want. One of the things about this card for me is tell us what you want, so we may work with you.
Oh.
Do avoid pitfalls. If you've tried something 30 times and it didn't work, don't do that again. Find a different way. Sometimes we get the caution of the Seven of Cups is we're often drawn to what is familiar, but what if familiar isn't working anymore? Choose something that would be bright, beautiful, promising, but it might take you into an uncomfortable place for yourself, but then therein lies your creativity. So
Oh man, that's so on point. It's like not even right.
Isn't that I love it, right? It always happens like
I feel like a lot of the times there's several different projects, and I'm like, I don't know what one to choose,
What
and I
to
want
choose.
to do them all. So I'm
there
like,
they all are.
there they all are.
Yes.
Well, that is a
But-
good predicament to be in. There's so many projects.
In some ways it speaks to there's one central one, because this person is probably in the card is probably looking at this one covered energy, but it doesn't mean there's just one. It could be two or three.
Well, it's
And
like
you
there's
need to-
one in front of you at the moment, but there's other ones.
But there could be
they
ones
take-
you can line up as you go
Yeah.
forward too. Yeah. So
Well, thank you.
Okay.
all right, let me move
My
these.
cards
Yeah.
are not as pretty as those cards.
Huh?
Oh, and by the
no,
way,
they're
Inanna is
beautiful.
going to have her
They're
own
loved.
deck. It's being created.
Oh, really?
We're in
Oh
the
my
process.
gosh.
Yeah, an artist and I are working together.
The artist who made our
Our little cruising in the light and shadow.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
that's cool.
yeah.
That's really
Really
cool.
looking for, and in a year we should be close to being done.
And they're
It's
beautiful.
That's a lot of
The
cards to
art- it's
design,
a
yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'm writing the book for it, and she's doing the artwork. So I'm kind
Amazing.
of bowing to her for.
And she's a
it's
Disney
like
artist, so she's
whenever-
busy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's got. A
All right. Well, I don't know who wants to pull a card.
Ooh.
Why
I
don't
don't-
you? You
Me?
haven't had a reading. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Can you reach?
Yeah,
Here.
like there you go.
Put 'em over there.
There we go. There we go.
Just pick one. Have I ever done a one card? Oh, well, we were talking before, but Five of Wands to me, when I see this card, it's like
Which one?
you're doing life. You're
I'm
doing life.
life.
You're doing it, but there's some challenges going on right now. But however,
A few complications.
Which card is it?
the
Five
Five
of
of Wands,
Wands.
but you're giving it your best shot. Like
Yeah.
you're not going down. Like the war's not over, the fight's not over. Like we don't know, and it's grounded. You're grounded. You're grounded in your knowing and in your spirit. So I feel like when I see this card and then when I talk to you, it's like you know what's happening. Like you know deep inside of you that everything is okay. And I feel like what's happening is sitting on top of you like a film. Does that make sense? It's like, when fat rises to the top.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's like
I'm like a film. Okay.
No, like not a film, like
Yeah.
movie film,
Yeah.
Oh,
but no, like a film
over
that
the
you can
top.
like
Okay.
scrape.
Oh.
So it's kind of like that's what I feel like is happening right now.
Like I'm scraping the ick away.
Well, you're not scraping it; it's like there, but like
I need to scrape it.
no, but like your foundation is there.
Okay.
Or
and
the
it's-
cream rising.
The cream is
cream.
rising. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's almost like your quote unquote problems that you have,
Mm-hmm.
and you are completely separate. And if you identify with that already,
Yeah.
so then there's like no problem, if that makes sense. It's just, or you can think of it like that, I guess, as like there really is no problem, because if you can see your problem and yourself as separate, it's just like an awareness.
Oh.
So you have that awareness within you, so you can make the cream not separate. Does that make sense? Like how cream separates?
Mm-hmm.
So your foundation, if you like meld the two, maybe you'll realize that there really is no problem, and then that top will scrape away.
Ooh.
Does that make sense?
It does
Kind
make
of?
sense. Yeah.
But this just tells me
yeah.
that right now you are giving it like your best shot.
Okay.
You're like in it. But the truth of the matter is like the truth. The truth is you are centered and you are a spirit and you are connected and you are calm and you are sweet and loving being.
Oh.
But right now there's just a lot of fight going on around you.
And that literally is, I've never seen these cards before. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They're very pretty.
It does look like a fight. And again, I'm so into the Harry Potter that I'm like, ooh, that reminds me of.
Yeah. The Five of Cards to me is always too, there is no winner. This is like an ongoing battle, an ongoing struggle. So again, there is
Yeah.
no winner, there is no loser. It's like,
It's just learning to deal with it.
yeah, learning, or I guess practicing a different way to integrate it into your spiritual experience, I guess. Does that make sense?
It does.
Or to deepen the foundation almost?
Yeah. Or it's like to make
Ooh.
the foundation rise in above and into the problem. So the foundation rises and engulfs the problem. So it's not the problem anymore. Does
Okay.
that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That the problem and the conflict become part of your experience.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the ways I read the Five of
Yeah,
Wands.
yeah.
So that it's a win-win situation
Yeah.
at the end of it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm practicing too, there is no problem. There's no problem.
Right.
There's just the experience.
The experience.
of it. And sometimes the experience, like my mind judges it and goes, I don't want that experience.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then
Oh, boy,
and then
yes.
spirit or God or whoever or some guy comes up to me and reminds me, nope, that's my experience. This is my experience. So I might as well learn it.
Yeah.
Or at least engulf it or just accept it and then be kind in the process. And I think you said something about that too. Being kind in the
Yeah.
practice of it.
I
Being
have
kind
to-
to yourself, being
Be kind to
kind
yourself. Yeah.
in the practice of it. Yeah. Like if you don't quite get it, you're like, instead of like, I hate myself.
Yeah.
Being like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's okay. It's all good.
That sounds.
It's all good. Yeah. Some guy hit you in a car. Great. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not fine, but it's,
I lived.
There's something to
Yeah.
be gained in every experience.
Yeah.
So
Even-
it's hard right at the moment you're in the middle of
yeah.
the stuff, the
Yeah.
difficulty, the challenge.
Yeah.
But there will be wisdom that comes from it, and you'll have that with you as you go forward.
Yeah.
Good visuals, ladies. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Thank you. Ooh, okay. That'll be in
reading.
meditation tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good reading.
Definitely good reading.
I always feel like, I don't know how Alex and I, we've been in acting class together and stuff. So there's always ways to like trying to like have a new experience or do something like that. And I always like to give myself a pat on the back when I'm like, okay, I see what the problem is or the pattern. I see what the pattern is. So
Yes.
now that I see it, now I have a choice.
Yes.
So the strength is in, and the oneness and the knowing is in the choice. Like, okay, or the habit. Like if I bite my nails, like I used to bite my nails, but I know I bite my nails. So now it's a choice. Now I'm deciding to bite my nails. So it's like I try to, not try, but as long as I know that I'm aware of a problem, I'm like, okay, that's awareness. Like that's awareness. Just being aware of it.
And that's a win. Yeah.
That's
a
win.
Awareness is a win.
Yeah, that's a win. So that's
Yeah.
something that I kind of was thinking to myself the other day.
Yes.
Being kind to myself, going like, okay, that's a win.
Yes.
That the awareness of choice is a win.
Maybe
Yeah.
another day you'll go further or go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
But right now, this is
That's a
what I was
win for me
able to
today.
do. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen my patterns, and let's like try not to go down that
Yeah.
path again.
Yeah. And if you do, okay, well,
Well,
okay.
one more lesson.
There'll be another opportunity.
There will be another opportunity.
Will come along.
Yes, there will be another opportunity. Usually faster than
yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for being here,
Thank
ladies.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Robin,
having
so
us.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful
That's
episode.
amazing.
Oh, love this conversation.
Okay, I'm looking out for London. I'm about to
Yep,
look
there
at
you
my
go.
ticket.
She's on the phone booking her tickets.
I'm about to get a green card somewhere. I'm like, where am I
Kate
going
McKinnon.
next?
Kate McKinnon can
Yeah.
find us on Girls I Audition.
Yeah,
Right?
Kate
Yes.
McKinnon.
There, Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
And Kate McKinnon. Yes,
I would
there
love
you
it if
are.
Kate McKinnon. would
Oh my
come.
God,
Yeah, oh my
love
SNL.
her.
We're ready.
Wow.
We're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you both so much,
Yeah,
though.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Wonderful
So much
having you
fun.
here.
Yeah.
And scene.
And thank you,
I'm
Paul
like-
Preston.
Yes.
And thank you, David Shostak, for your music.
And thank you, Allison Werner.
Thank you. She's our PR person.
Oh, thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison. And thank you, everyone, for joining us in the cruising in the light and shadow.
I am InannaMoon.
I'm Sheila Marie, reminding you that love is everywhere. Our lives touch everyone and everything. So please go forth in love.
And blessings, everyone. Om Shanti.